guys, Jay here. Welcome to Malys Memories Weekly, episode 240. Malys Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where we're talking about painting, modeling, and working experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 videos a week. Oh, could I possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here goes. This week, I have been poring over the new Drukhari Codex, the new Dark Eldar Codex. I'll never get used to saying Drukhari. And Games Workshop came out with not a new faction for the old world, but new models for an old faction for old world, which is new. But first, if anybody is going to be around this Sunday in the Wisconsin area and looking for some fun Warhammer things to do, you might want to check out the Midwest Mini Swap. My man Tim is once again hosting the Midwest Mini Swap. It's a really fun time. Lots and lots of secondhand minis for sale. Last year I went this year, it was earlier this year, I went a little crazy and got a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm probably gonna do it again. It is at the VFW in New Berlin, Wisconsin on October 26th, this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I will be there, I'm gonna have a booth, and I am gonna be selling some stuff. My goal is to sell a whole bunch of Warhammer and other miniature wargaming things in order to turn that into some new Warhammer and wargaming things. And so we'll see what happens, but it is gonna be a fun time. So if anybody is around New Berlin this Sunday, I would come check it out. But speaking of checking some things out, I didn't even notice this thing for Old World, but it is the Chaos Marauders back from the grave with some brand spanking new miniatures. Bring chaos to the Old World with a horde of rampaging marauders. The Chaos Marauders Army Reinforcement Set. These guys, at first glance, I didn't notice that they were new. Although I think I had the old Chaos Marauders, not an army, but I had some of the actual guys. And they were the famous, one body was the head, the torso, the legs, and then 2 sockets for arms. And then you plugged on the arms. And that's how they kind of did the customizability of these guys. These new miniatures look fantastic. What does Sean play? He plays the Oath. The Chaos Oath Seekers, the Conan the Barbarian guys. And they're fine. He beats me with them fairly frequently. But these new guys, they feel like marauders. They look so good on that cold winter snowy mat with the little huts in the background and the pipe cleaner pine trees. Oh, those are so classic. I remember seeing those at Hobby Lobby, where it's literally just a pipe cleaner that they dipped or they sprinkled on a little bit of that fake Christmas snow that you see on Christmas ornaments and stuff. But they kind of look good in the background of the photography. They don't look as silly as they do in person. These guys are actually really, really nice. They're covered in furs and leathers. Their weapons look nasty. Their shields look nasty. They kind of look nasty. I'm kind of down for these guys. They look really, really good. They look really good all ranked up. Sometimes the ranking in Old World, especially the old miniatures, they look a little tiled. You can definitely tell that they had to scooch in everybody's pose a little bit to make sure that they didn't rub against the models next to them. Where it seems like these guys are just well designed to look like a gaggle of folks just hanging out, but they're not perfectly ranked up like the guys from 300 all ranked up with their shields. Banners look cool. These new plastics come with a decal sheet that looks like it would be a lot of fun to throw onto some of the banners and things. And the horsies. I haven't played Old World yet, and so I don't know if cavalry in Old World is as OP as it is in Age of Sigmar. Oh, cavalry in Age of Sigmar. Actually, I don't know if cavalry is that good in Sigmar, but in Spearhead. Holy moly, in Spearhead, good cavalry is oppressive. All of the Spearheads that have really, really good horsey riders they can play incredibly aggressively. If they get first turn, you are going to be charged with cavalry immediately off the drop. And you have to have a sacrificial unit ready to capture the charging cavalry. Usually when I play my Skaven, I really like to just throw a line of clan rats and just completely block the charge. Because usually the horsies charge in to the clan rats. absolutely wipe the clan rats, but then those horsies are just sitting right there for me and the rest of my army. And sometimes I can make it happen where I kill the cavalry. Depends on what it is, but these guys, these horsey riders are really, really nice. I like all of their little decorations and spikes and severed heads and skulls and all sorts of different weapons just dangling off of them all over. They look aggressive and violent and a little monstrous. These guys are really, really cool. It looks like in this box you get two squads of 2 groupings of marauders, and then you get 2 squads of the marauders on horses. They look like if I was doing old world, none of the old worlds have super jumped out to me yet. Sometimes maybe like the what are the green elves called? The elves of the forest. I collect the like those sorts of units for a couple of different armies, and so it'd be interesting, especially since those are some of the oldest models you can get for the old world. These guys, though, they're a little something, because I don't play Chaos except for Death Guard, and Death Guard is very different. These Marauder fellas, they're pretty interesting. I also feel like they would fit into Age of Sigmar pretty well. In the book, Yndrasta, the Celestial Spear, which I read and I really, really enjoyed it. That takes place in like a snowy Arctic environment, and the characters from it are really interesting. They're just regular folks who are okay with a knife, and they're dealing with Yndrasta, who is a demigod who murders titans with her spear. And the book is really, really interesting. No spoilers, but the way their civilization works is there's just a polar bear the size of Godzilla, and they're just used to living near this thing. And so it keeps away all of like the cruel boys and the orcs and all of the other nasties in Age of Sigmar. And they just deal with living next to this kaiju-sized bear. And that's just how their civilization works. And it was so interesting and unique. And I feel like, I mean, these guys are chaos, but I feel like, so they probably have some other shenanigans going on to keep themselves safe, but it was a really, really interesting novel. And it's gotten me a little bit interested in this new army box. The only other thing that I'm super tempted by in Old World are the regular knights. I know Sean was collecting those guys, but he hasn't gotten let out yet, and the Pegasus Riders are kind of cool. I don't know, these new guys they're doing something for me. They're pretty darn cool. It's fun to window shop for Old World, but a game that I actually play a lot of, Warhammer 40,000, the Dark Eldar Codex is out. I have been playing Dark Eldar, I have been collecting Dark Eldar, I have a gigantic Dark Eldar collection now that I've done this collaboration with Scott, the Miniature Maniac. We both put together 2,000 point Dark Eldar armies. My army is no longer 2,000 points because of the new Dark Eldar Codex, because some things went to Legends, which is really, really annoying, but some other things have gotten really, really good. Like, what are the witches on the Green Goblin scooter? Hellions! I really like Hellions. I have so many boxes of Hellions. I have one squad put together and painted, but I've been holding off because in the Index Drukhari days, not a very good unit, not super, super tempting. But now that the new Codex is out, they're really, really good. The new Codex has kind of changed everything, and it's a little bit, it's not frustrating, but it's also it's exciting that the new Codex has changed everything, and I'm reading it and I'm kind of learning these new synergies and strategies. But it is annoying that my army was kind of built for the Index, but that is just the way of Warhammer. Like, rules change, things ebb and flow, some things that are bad become good, some things that are good become bad, and you just kind of have to learn your way around it. But in revamping my army from the Index days into the Codex days, it's definitely required me to build and paint some things. Some of those things are going to be in videos in the near future, but one of those things is this little fella right here. This is Lady Malys. I picked her up this Sunday, and now she is already painted. Just gotta knock out the base. The model for this, I wasn't completely sold when I saw it on the Games Workshop web store. And then I was thinking, okay, so I'll get it, and then I'll do a little bit of kit bashing and converting to make it exactly how I want it to be. But then when I was putting it together, I really, really like it in person. The pose and everything about it really, really works. that humongous husk blade with the devastating wounds because she's the poisoner. It's really, really cool. I tried some speed paints on her, which I don't usually use speed paints on my Dark Eldar, but I think it worked pretty well for her. And then I did a whole bunch of brush on highlights, and I kind of followed the box art for the most part. I pumped up the saturation of her colors quite a bit just to match the rest of my army, which is pink and blue, and a little bit of red from the Rax and the Homunculus. But I'm really, really excited to take her in game. Her abilities, she has quite a few because now everything in the Dark Eldar Codex has quite a few rules. Our previous thing was Power from Pain, one of my favorite army abilities in all of Warhammer 40,000. Every time a Drukhari unit kills an enemy unit or makes them fail a battle shock, I get something called a pain token. And these pain tokens can be spent to empower Drukhari units in different phases. And what we used to get is we used to get reroll hit rolls +1 AP. Really, really, really good. If you could ask Santa to bring you anything for Christmas, you would ask for reroll hits and +1 AP. That is an incredible ability. And honestly, it kind of that's like what made the Dark Eldar good, because we weren't very good, but having that ability on tap at any given time was able to get most of our units over the finish line to being decent. Now we still have the same ability, but empowering is completely different. Gone are the days of +1 AP and reroll hits, and now each unit has its own special ability that pops off when you're empowered. A little bit more bookkeeping and thinking, which I'm not good at remembering all of these different abilities, but by and large, everything has gotten quite a bit better. Lady Malys, her ability, what is her empowered ability? Oh, it is she can give her and her squad sustained hits or lethal hits. Because she has the devastating, you probably want to give the sustain for the extra number of punches that can convert into devastating wounds. But now you have to remember, okay, so she can make devastating happen, but if you spend 1 pain token, it empowers her and the unit she's attached to. She can be attached to Cabalites, the new Cabalites. They're not called Trueborn, they're not called Court of the Archon, but I think they're called the Archon Court. There's something very familiar, but really what she should probably attach to is Incubi. Incubi are really, really good. There are close combat monsters. And the Incubi, the sprue has always come with a little statue, but now that statue actually does something, and once per game, it can give the whole squad devastating wounds. So she and the Incubi, for 1 turn, can have devastating wounds on everything. She does flat 3 damage, because again, she's the poisoner, and the Incubi get damage too. So that makes for a very, very powerful little squad. Other things that I'm really excited for in the new Dark Eldar Codex, what are some other really, really juicy power abilities? Some things are a little bit sad, like the Void Raven Bomber, which I never managed to put one together, but I was thinking about it. But now that it's 245 points and doesn't get to reroll the hit, it's not looking as good as some other things. But the Hellions are all of a sudden really, really good. Reaver jet bikes are looking really, really good. I think they're Auto Advance 6 or Auto Advance 8 moved from just a generic ability to a pain ability, but then, which is a little bit annoying. Some things in the Drukhari Codex, like Mandrakes used to have Uppy Downy just as an ability, but now they have Uppy Downy for the price of 1 pain token. But what's kind of nice is that means that ability that we know and love is still available on tap, and now they have some more new abilities that they just have in general. So even though we've sort of, in a way, lost some things, we've gained a lot of things. And Mandrakes got good. Like, Mandrakes before were the piddliest little thing. They kind of had some shooting and kind of had some fighting, but really you never ever wanted to make them shoot or fight. You just wanted them to exist to like score you points or move block your opponent. Now they're kind of a good unit. Witches are still witches. They're cheap as chips and they're really, really hard to keep alive, but attached to Lilith Hesperax. The succubus is much better than she used to be, but that's not saying a whole lot, but she's still really, really interesting. I really wish there's a way that the Dark Eldar can split 10-man squads into 5-man squads using the Venom transport, but what's a little bit tricky about it is if you attach a leader, the leader is stuck on 5 guys, and then the other 5 guys are just kind of off. You can't attach another leader to them because attaching leaders is done in the setup or before the setup phase. There's a whole bunch of little tiny things that I need to double check before my first game of new Drukhari, but I'm very excited for it. Getting some new models all put together and painted to get playing in the new age of the Drukhari. I've been watching some Scary battle reports of him playing the new Dark Eldar, and I almost feel like it's not that valuable to watch him play because he's one of the best players in the entire world, and I am not. But it is really, really fun to watch. Like a perfect game of Warhammer 40,000 being played, where everything is just popping off and all of the decisions are smart and intelligent, and it's just not used to the way I'm used to playing Warhammer 40,000. The Dark Eldar, they're so interesting and very, very different to a lot of my other armies. I really enjoy playing my Necrons because they're tanky and they're able to tank a lot of the mistakes that I make. And so my army actually managed to stick around for quite a while. My Black Templar are also fairly tanky. And since I have a smaller number of very, very tough units, being able to move them around the board, get them into the combats that I want them to get into is really, really interesting. The Dark Eldar is an army of glass cannons, and every moment of playing Dark Eldar is a nail biter because the whole squad can vanish in the blink of an eye. Sean overwatched me with a Cadian squad, or no, it was a Krieg squad, and he had the flamethrower, and literally in Overwatch, the flamethrower wrecked my Incubi and Archon. I think he took it down to 1 Archon and 1 Incubi. And I still managed to do decent damage to the squad, but it was really sad. Like 1 Guardsman flamethrower killed so much damage potential of my army. Oh, and then it was also bringing a Solitaire. And I was really arguing with Sean that, because he was going to Overwatch my Solitaire, which would have killed it. And then I was like, I gotta try though, because if I can charge in, like I can make something happen. This guy has been running around the board in the background the whole game doing stuff for me. And now he's going to charge in. But Overwatch is going to demolish him. Although one of the new detachments does have no Overwatch. I don't know if I can attach it to a Harlequin's unit. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to, which would make a lot of sense because I'm not playing Harlequins, I'm playing Dark Eldar. But in the detachment, what is Reaper's Wager? You're allowed to bring up to half your army being Harlequins and then half your army being Drukhari. I've been working on a bunch of Harlequin units to actually play this. I proxied it once in Tabletop Simulator, bringing about equal parts Harlequin and Dark Eldar. And I don't think you need equal parts. I think you do need the majority, the lion's share of your army to be Dark Eldar. But it was fun to bring some of these Harlequin units. And now that we don't have reroll hits on tap, getting to reroll hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1 in general is really, really powerful, especially because now we've got the new, better data sheets. And so in a way, we can have a little bit of index in Drukhari Codex, and it's really, it's spicy. Lady Malys took, how long did you take? Probably I spent 4 hours on Sunday and then maybe another 2 hours last night to get her here. I focused really hard on non-metallic metal, or on true metallic metal, but painting it as if it was non-metallic metal. I used speed paint to tint the gold into a dark brown, and I really tried to focus on getting heavy contrast, and it worked out pretty good. I've been watching a lot of Angel Heraldez videos, and he's been going down the rabbit hole of true metallic metal, but with super high contrast. And so I tried to do a little bit of that. And as a first try, I think it was pretty effective, but I want to try some more with true metallic metals because it's easier than non-metallic metal. And it does give you a little extra something. Like on the tabletop at the friendly local game store, that little glisten that true metallic metal has is really eye-catching. And if I can make the true metallic metal look as good as some of my best non-metallic metal, I would be very, very pleased. Oh, Lady Malys. I used to say Lady Malys, but that Y is doing some heavy lifting, and it's Lady Malys, the Poisoner. never used to have a model, but I believe in the 5th edition Dark Eldar book, she had rules. And so you just had to make her up. But now there is an official miniature. I am very excited to sink my teeth into the new Dark Eldar Codex. It's not all good. The new Dark Eldar Codex, it got rid of 4 of the Drukhari units. It got rid of Grotesques, which hurt me dearly. Urian Rakarth, the named Homunculus, which really hurts. And then it got rid of Court of the Archon and Beastmaster, which was kind of to be expected. And honestly, now that Hellions and Reaver jet bikes are kind of better than Beastmaster used to be, it's not that bad because I really like the bikes. The Reaver jet bikes are really, really cool. And I never managed to build a proxy version of Beastmaster because they haven't been available for sale in years and years and years. Court of the Archon is a little bit sad, but honestly, if I had to guess, if I had to put some money down, I would bet that we're gonna see some of these old units back from the dead at some point, maybe in 11th edition. I don't know when we're gonna see some of those old models, but you know what I do know all about? That is all of the awesome hobby products available from EonsOfBattle.com. EonsOfBattle.com is the place to find all sorts of hobby goodies. We got wet palettes, we got brushes, we got all sorts of Army Painter paints, Fanatic sets, speed paints, and we also have my favorite Vallejo texture pastes. And EonsOfBattle.com is the best way to support us doing what we do with a membership. Each month, members get a credit they can use on our new monthly train packs or any previous pack we have ever made. Come celebrate Orktober with us and head on down to the Orc Rodeo, a whimsical assortment of high-octane hijinks. This set includes a series of walls and barricades that not only create a coliseum of chaos, but also fits in with our previous Orky wall terrains. Then there are the Goblin game carts, a series of mobile orc entertainments pulled along by an orcified food truck, literally dripping with some good orc grub. Rounding out this set are the 3 amigos, some brave goblins riding their violently bucking steeds. All this terrain was designed by us and is available at EonsOfBattle.com. Really fun week of Warhammer 40,000, getting my Dark Eldar collection up and running as quickly as possible because I want to get some games in with the new fancy rules. I want to do some devastating wounds with Lady Malys and Malys and some Incubi. It's going to be a good time. Thanks for watching.